GCSE Business Studies students. This resource has been created to help you tackle your exam paper in the summer. Whether you're in Year 10 or Year 11, this resource can be helpful to you. The aim of it is to help you understand the question. As lots of you have said, oh, I don't know what the question wants me to write about. So the nature of this is to help you understand the question on your exam paper. This e-learning resource aims to help you answer your exam question, whether that be a 9-mark question or a 4-mark question. What we want to be able to do is take your subject knowledge that you all know, apply it to the context of the case study, because remember on your exam paper there will be 3 questions, each with their own case study, and answer the exam question successfully by taking your subject knowledge, using the case study, and then being able to answer the question. There are a number of steps you need to take to be able to answer an exam question successfully, or to understand it in the first place. This is an example of a Year 11 exam question. How might the marketing mix for the new range of chewing gums need to change during the different stages of the product life cycle? Now, you're looking at that going, oh, I don't understand it. So the first thing you need to do is read the question very carefully and identify all the key words in it. Where are your command words? And what are they? What do they mean? Do you understand all the key business study terms in the question? And so you have to break it down. I'm now going to go through the different types of command questions you might get on your exam papers to help you understand what the question wants you to do. So command words. These words are used to help you understand what you need to write in your answer, okay? By understanding command words, you will know how much you should, 1, write for the question, and 2, what type of response you need to give. This way, you'll begin to understand what the question wants you to do and how to answer it. There are a series of different command words for business studies. Some would be used for mark questions, some would be used for 2 or 3 mark questions. These are the 2 that you're most likely to get on a 2 or 3 mark question. So, what is meant by? This is where you define the business term usually. So if it says what is meant by the term franchise, you have to first of all give the explanation to what a franchise is and then provide a bit more development. The second one is suggest. This usually appears on your exam paper saying suggest 2 ways in which, and all you have to do usually is, 1 suggestion, 2 suggestion, 3 suggestion. Often on your exam paper it will appear with numbers. So it'll go 1 and you give your answer, 2, 3. And so that is how these questions will look on your exam paper. So these are the command words for 4, 5 or 6 mark questions. If you look, they're very different from the 2 or 3 mark question command words. What these words are trying to get you to do is to provide a point and then explain it. Now remember, if you see any of these command words, what you have to do is give a point, because often they will say things like give 2 reasons why. So you make a point, for example your first reason, you explain that. You have to give detail with these command words. You won't get away with just writing 1 sentence. Have a look at them now. Pause the video and make a note of them if you're not sure what each of these words mean. And finally, these are the command words for the 9 mark questions. As you can see, very different from the ones we've already seen, but remember, explain can appear as a 9 mark question or even a 4, 5 or 6, so just be aware of it. What the 9 mark question command words want you to do is to really discuss advantages and disadvantages to something. So if you see evaluate, justify or discuss, they're really asking you to do the same thing. They want to see you talking about advantages, they want to see you talking about disadvantages, or explaining the reasons why somebody might do something or might not do something. Which brings me very well on to my next point. Often 9 mark questions begin with words such as might, important or whether. These questions often confuse you because you're not quite sure what to write. But basically what they're asking you to do is provide suggestions about the possibility of something becoming true in the future or happening. So really what they want you to do when you see these words, because they'll be at the very beginning of a 9 mark question, is make suggestions and give advice in a polite way. So giving the advantages to becoming a franchise, for example, or giving the disadvantages of being a sole trader. This is what the examiner is looking for you to do. So if you do see might, important or whether, don't get confused by them. Make sure you know that all that means is that you need to give suggestions and advice. Now, I've gone through the command questions, but are you sure that you understand all of them? What I would do is I would rewind the video, go back and look at all the command questions, make sure I understand the meanings of everything. Because remember, it's just you in the exam room. Once you understand the command words or understand what the question is asking you to do, you then move on to step 2 to be able to understand the question. This is where you read through the case study. What I would do is I would highlight all the key business terms that you could use in your answer to display subject knowledge that appear in the case study. And secondly, I'd highlight information that could help me to answer the question. For example, you would highlight anything to do with the 9-mark question. This will help you to know how you have to answer the question, because often the case study gives you little tips or hints about what your answer could be. The third step is you deciding what you're going to write in your answer. Often this is where most of you be panicking because you're not still quite sure what to write. This is why I'm going to suggest to you that you plan out your answer, whether that be roughly on the exam paper or in your head. Look at the case study for information that you could use. It might have suggestions for points you could make. Decide what the key business terms are that you need to use in your answer. This will also help you to plan it. And remember to use your business studies knowledge to answer the question. Don't fall into the trap though that some people do of just repeating what the case study says. Make sure you're making clear and detailed points. Now have a go at answering the question. This is step 4. Use any of the grids that we use in class if that's going to help you initially. If you want to practice 9-mark questions, for example, at home, ask your business studies teacher for some grids that you can take home with you so you can practice the questions there. Remember, practice makes perfect. Your textbook is full of possible exam questions. There will be different questions at the end of every topic, so always remember, if you want to give it a go, just look to your textbook. And finally, if you would like the workbook that goes alongside this e-learning resource, please ask one of your business studies teacher for this. Or if they don't have one, come and find me and I will provide you with a workbook. Good luck!